30 minutes of
I know that's gonna
footage, so
that's gonna
nice.
be hella nice.
I don't think we're gonna. I do want to you do like a little break for this one, but mostly I want to just.
It's fine.
We'll have something at the end.
Let me pull my shit up. I got some stingers. Some shingers. Do you know? Oh shit, where would it go? I don't know. I don't know why I was looking up the Latin translation for eating ass this morning.
What does it mean? What is the translation?
It was like something assicus weird. Like, should have been obvious.
Yeah.
Commodir asinium.
Commodir asinium.
Eating ass in Latin.
That's horrible.
And then Macaulay Culkin. I don't know what those things have to do with each other.
That's your Google searches for
Don't look
today.
at it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Where Do We Go From Here podcast. And today's episode 3, we're going to be talking about
So many things. Such a short time.
But one thing that just happened actually recent today, which is very unsettling and very sad. There was a shooting inside of a church that just happened in Texas. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. We just learned about it, so it's going to be kind of fresh in our minds. And it'll be something to talk about that is pretty.
I mean, it literally just happened an hour ago, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't, the video was kind of, if you didn't see it, they were live streaming, like, their service. And a guy stood up in the back of the church. It looked like he had, I don't know what it was, and I don't know shit about guns, but I want to assume the way it looked, it was like a Mossberg almost.
It was a shotgun.
Yeah, it was definitely a shotgun, but it looked like it was maybe a Mossberg. And he's in Texas, so, you know, in a matter of seconds, you had about 8 people stand up that had a handgun on him, but it looked like he might have, definitely looked like he got 2 guys standing in the back behind the pews, and then maybe one sitting in a pew.
Instantly popped out. Like, right when the first shot was done, there was like 2 or 3 people just like, boom, pistol ready in hand. It was wild.
Yeah, and I don't know where, I couldn't tell you where he caught the guys. I mean, it only happened an hour ago, so you're just seeing the video. There's no reports on anything.
Yeah.
But the one guy, the first guy he hit, the guy still got up and was trying to, like, assist in any way he can. So shout out to that guy. I mean.
But according to the news article right here, it's from NBC News. I read an article on CNN too, but it's saying that 2 were dead and 1 was in critical condition, which is, thank God no one else was hurt. It just sucks that has to happen even today. Like, it's wild. But thank God there was 2 or 3 people there with guns ready.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
I mean, it was more than that. Is that to say 2 to 3? Because I would assume there was a lot more than that.
In the video, that's what popped up. Was, I think, 2 or 3 people.
Like there was like 5 or 6. I don't know, but
I bet you anything. There was probably like
there was a lot. There was probably more that didn't
guns.
even. They saw everybody had it already and didn't even bother pulling it out.
Yeah, but
in Texas, I don't know where at in Texas. What did it say the town was? White Mission, something like that.
In White Settlement.
White Settlement
sounds a little racist.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that town.
CNN will spin that how they want, but
yeah, but
I'm not even gonna say anything. It's stupid.
The church was West Freeway Church of Christ. This Sunday. Wow. It's crazy though. Like, just watching the footage, it looked like something out of like a movie. Like, this dude was like, had a trench coat on. He was just ready.
Dude, the guy was, It
was instant.
He just pulled it out of his coat. I don't know. I don't even know what the last shooting was. That should not be a term that I have to say, the last shooting. But I don't even know what the last like big shooting was, because we're numb. I was talking to someone last night that we get such shit at our age for like this stuff happening, and it's like, what, do you guys just not even care anymore? And it's like, we grew up, we were all 4 or 5 years old in the biggest terrorist attack on American soil ever.
Yep.
When 9/11 happened, we were all like 4 or 5 years. And when people bring it up now, it's like, oh, you guys were too little to remember. But we were like 3 at that age. And it's like, well, I mean, this is just things that happen in our life.
Yeah.
I mean, We were born in 97. I don't know. When was the Oklahoma City bombing? Like 94 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But still, you're just getting numb to it. It's like it's news. It just happens every day.
Yep.
And when there's only bad shit in the news reported on, what the hell's bad shit?
Yeah. And it's so implemented in our brains. It's so normalized that we don't even think twice anymore. Like, I mean, everything. It's
like they try to instill fear, but how are you going to instill fear? Like, you can't. There's no fear to be had from it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're there. It's just everything's. You play video games on the TV. You watch the news on the TV. And when the TV doesn't seem like real life, none of it seems real.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be there. Like, I remember we went to go see a concert in Indy last year, and that following week, there was a child brought a gun to school. I don't know if it was discharged or anything. I don't remember what all happened there, but it wasn't in Indy. It was like in the area.
Yep.
But I mean, that one hit me only because I was like, oh, we were just there.
Yeah.
And the one in Dayton, I remember that. The one at the nightclub in Dayton, like earlier this year. I think it was like the spring.
Yep.
But I mean, still though, that's a little bit away from us, and I don't remember the last time I was in Dayton. So it's just kind of, you're numb to it. It's like, I get all these bigger places that are like, oh, there was one in Los Angeles. I don't even know. There was a Christmas party like last year or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got 20 million people or whatever it is in Los Angeles. That's not even close to the right number.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. But I mean, you get those amount of people freaking out on Twitter and everything, and it's like everybody follows suit, but there's so many people in that area that's like, it seems real to them right then. But we're out here nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, that happened again.
Yeah. It's so normal. And I mean, it's
like if
funny,
it happened
like
here in Fort Wayne, everybody would be like, oh my God. But people in like Chicago would be like, yeah, those idiots.
What happens every day there? That's stuff like this literally happens every day, no matter where it's at. And it's gonna happen. It's just sometimes it doesn't get televised. And like even with like there's racial crimes even in Fort Wayne that still happen today that none of us talk about because it's so bad. They don't want to put it on the news. It just happens. And then there's people out there.
You think it's better to publicize all that stuff, or you think it's better to hide it away? You like the whole thing about how like they say you shouldn't put a shooter's name on the news because that's all they're after. Like I get that. Yeah, I get that. But I don't know. I could see it like you need to know who to watch out for, what kind of people we're looking for. Yep. And it's like even when you do, they ignore the signs every time. Yeah. Every time they ignore the signs.
Yeah. And I mean some people you can't tell that they're going to be a shooter, that they're going to be whatever. They could be the nicest people.
Throw them on the right drugs and anything happens.
Yeah. They could fuck with their like psychic shit. I mean, pills can fuck with people. Any drug can mess with someone and change their how they think. And it's super scary. People with schizophrenia, they're so unstable that they don't know what they're going to be doing in the next hour. Yeah. Like that's what's scary.
Yeah.
But this stuff is so normalized now, and it sucks that like I'm not trying to put this down, but like there's so much stuff that happens every day. Like there's shootings in Fort Wayne that happen every week, every single week, and stuff happens everywhere all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's always there's like one thing being super publicized. And like it doesn't mean that it has lesser of a value than something that happened in a little town in Ohio, but it's like, isn't that weird though that only one thing gets publicized or shown to the masses?
And it's all about how they swing it. Like it's just, and there's all these big name people do it too. Like I was talking to someone the other day about no one remembers how Dick Cheney shot a man in the face. Mm-hmm. You know the hunting accident or whatever, and it was like bird shot him in the face.
Yeah,
no one remembers that, but here we are.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just in the way they want to play it.
Yep. They can spin it however, especially there's so many things with biased news. And that's why I hate getting into politics is because you don't know what's true. And people are so easily.
You really don't.
People are so easily misled.
I can go either way on a lot of things. I love seeing both sides of the argument.
Me too.
Guns especially, I can see either side. I mean, we grew up where people are hunting for food legitimately, and they're all responsible.
And protection.
Yeah.
Like I know stories of people that have had no protection, and they end up losing their
Things go
life,
haywire.
or they don't know what to do in that situation. I've heard of people with guns having that protection, and it saved their life. So you can't weigh anything.
Yeah.
Because like in this situation, if those 4 dudes weren't there with a gun, there would have been more people dead.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's only got so many shells, but I mean, he'll use all of them if nobody there's going to stop him.
Yep. So you get stuff like that in the right hands. I mean, it's definitely useful. And we live in an age where we've already invested so much into our protection that there are too many people out there with stuff. So at least
they don't know half of what's out there, and then people make them.
Yeah,
like that guy that was making them, the 3D printed ones.
Yeah,
that guy had the FBI and everything come to his house, but there was like 1 million downloads of that before, and it's just a single shot gun. But and I don't know what to think about that one. Was that guy in the wrong, or Second Amendment stuff?
People need protection. I mean,
it's like,
what if our government overthrows us? That's a thing that people think about, and I think about it. What protection are we going to have?
Well, it's like, what does it mean to be a free country?
Yeah.
Like, really, really. Okay, so this is something I really wanted to talk about. This was a big reason we were doing this today. Not yesterday, 2 days ago, federally, they changed the age to buy tobacco products, nicotine products, anything to 21. That pissed me off.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, my whole thing is you really got to pick when people are an adult. Is it going to be 18 or is it going to be 21? Because the whole thing with the drinking age is the whole thought behind being 21 before you're able to buy alcohol is all your inner workings of your brain, your cerebral cortex, all that kind of stuff is not fully developed until it's a range. I think it's 20 to 24, and it can be different for some people, but the general consensus is about 21.
Mm-hmm.
And the drinking age is, if you've ever looked into it at all, it used to be different for every state across the whole country. There was some that it was like 17. There's some that it was like 24, something like that.
Yep.
But then I think I pulled this up. I can't remember what the stat was. It was 1984, the National Minimum Drinking Age Act was passed. And it was all based on, people didn't want to do it. All these states were like, screw you, we don't want this shit. And then at that time, they were redoing the highways across the country.
So they needed tax money.
They withheld funding for any state that wasn't willing to pass this law within their boundaries.
Wow.
So that's how we got the federal drinking age. This is just people being scared.
Yeah.
It's all, and I'm not going to sit here and be like,
a couple
vapes aren't
people
bad
died
for
from
you
vapes.
and
a
all
couple
this stuff.
people.
Yeah. And Wilson was just telling me the other day that they busted a couple of guys, and it's like the main link they have to all these fake cartridges for like THC and all this stuff. But it was like these guys had, I don't know, it was like tens of thousands of fake cartridges.
Yeah.
Empty,
Disgusting.
ready to be filled.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
So
and
gross.
it's like they'll put whatever in that. They're just trying to hawk that shit.
You can buy I was doing like the statistics on how much it costs for the cartridges, and you can buy them on eBay. You can buy the liquid online. You can make the liquid at home. And the thing is, it's vitamin E, which is infecting people's lungs and causing them to just seize out.
Yeah.
And it's so
and
bad.
You can buy them from a general retailer, but they came on a shipping crate from China.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get.
Yeah. They'll
Anything
do whatever.
can be shipped to you.
And I'm not going to sit here and like talk bad about like trade shit, but like I'm going to assume that our nation has sent bad drugs to other countries knowing they're going to be filtered and it's going to weaken a society.
Yeah.
And the same thing has been done to us.
Yeah. And
it's just the way the world works.
Yeah.
But this is what gets me is the drinking age is 21. They did it all. They withheld funding for highway systems. What we're doing now is just based purely on fear.
Yep.
That's all it is. You guys have been smoking for years, and as soon as they make it an alternative type thing, they freak out.
Yeah.
You don't know what's this about. And I'm not going to sit here and say you use a Juul and it's not going to hurt you, because odds are there's probably some shit in there that's going to fuck you up.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've done it.
Any form of vape.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
It's going to fuck you up in one way or another. But it's really like you're allowed to work a full-time job, pay taxes for your full-time job. You're allowed to enlist in the military, which this can go either way. You can either enlist in the military just because that's what you want to do, or you can enlist in the military just because you want cheap schooling.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do that now because we cannot afford that shit.
Yep.
We are screwed. We live in a terrible, terrible time. The inequality of wealth is so bad. I've got a running theory
really
that
bad.
I've just got a list written down, and we'll do a whole episode on that. But I feel like there's a good amount of issues going on in this country that can be traced back to the inequality of wealth.
Yeah.
And they say, I'll save those stats for another one. We'll do a whole thing on it.
Yeah.
But what age are you an adult? Is it gonna be 18? Are we gonna let people make those choices when we consider them an adult?
Yeah.
Like if you're not gonna let people make the choices, if you just want the money from them and you want them to be in the army and all that, you should probably raise the age of all that stuff to 21.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna let them make the choices that affect them.
And one of the things that I think they did this for is because of the open market of CBD too, because it's not just nicotine products that have the vitamin
anything.
E.
But I mean,
The
tax
CBD.
it, regulate it.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's the simplest solution, and you're just gonna sit there and fuck around while people die.
Yeah. And the CBD market is gonna
It doesn't
hurt
matter.
bad.
It
gonna hurt
doesn't
bad from
matter
this.
whether it's illegal or not. People are gonna do it.
Oh
And
no,
you're gonna
no, yeah.
fuck them up.
That's taboo. It's because it honestly it's more enticing for 18-year-olds now to go get cigarettes
This is
because
the
they
whole
want
thing.
to because
You're
they
lied
can't.
to. We are heavily lied to in school about marijuana is gonna fuck you up. It's a gateway drug. It'll ruin your life. We've been lied to for the last 40 plus years.
Yeah.
It'll fuck you up, and you'll just end up being a burnout and be nothing. And then when you try it and you realize, oh, this isn't that bad, it's just kind of relaxing.
Mm-hmm. You feel like you've been lied to.
Yeah, you feel like what else was a lie?
Yeah. And then you start rebelling your parents. You
Yeah,
start
then you
rebelling
just
everything.
don't believe anything you've been taught. Why don't we teach the real truth about all of these drugs
Yeah.
and then go from there? Let people make their own decisions. Don't try to tell them what to think.
And it's all based off of fear. This is all based off of fear. But one thing I think they're doing this for is
You can't fearmonger now.
you can't.
We
No,
know
we know
everything.
way too much. We have information at our fingertips. But I think one thing they're doing is with the cannabis industry is they're going to try to put that down a little bit more and try to make it look bad. And that's one thing I think they're doing with the cartridges is they're posting all this stuff online. They're fear mongering online on Facebook and all this stuff. And they're making people fear the cartridges that are sold at CBD stores. And they totally took every vapable product out of Michigan. Every
Yeah,
vapable
yeah.
product is out of Michigan. You can't buy any vapes or stuff now, which fucked up a lot of companies. And a lot of the CBD stores, there are a lot of people that want to try to profit from it and just for business
That's
sake.
what I was talking to the guy running the CBD store the other day.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Yes, really
and
nice
he
guy.
was saying that, well, this is the conversation we were having. There's so many, you could go to a gas station and they're just trying to pull a quick buck off of the hype.
Yeah.
It's CBD. This is what it is. And they get the cheap shit. They don't know what the hell they're throwing on the counter. And that's
Yeah,
not on them.
sometimes it's
That's
really
not on
bad
them.
shit.
It's on the people that are doing it just for the money.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get money out of it, but they don't know what it is. They
Yeah.
assume it's good product, just like if they bought a box of Snickers to throw on the shelf. you're going to assume that's good product and nobody's fucked with it.
Yep.
But you don't know that. Thanks, Bubbies.
Welcome.
But that's the difference. Like, he was telling me he had some guy that owns a whole bunch of gas stations around here come into the CBD store, and by the time he was ready to leave, he goes, this is actually a lot, like, more legit stuff than I thought it was. Because you walk into some of those places, and it's either a little seedy gas station, you can buy a CBD pen, or you can walk into, and it looks like another medical store. I'm not going to say it's almost a pharmacy, because
but they want you to feel like you're being treated.
It is a pharmacy.
Yeah. And it should be.
Yeah.
It should make you go in there and be like, I can take care of you. We can help you figure out what you're doing. And they can't legally say this dose is the right amount for you.
They don't know.
You can't say that this actually works, but we are on the cusp of finding out so much about this substance, and it's insane. Like, we are so close. Every time we get so close to finding out answers,
someone smacks it down.
Boom, here we go.
But someone else is picking up where that person left off, and they're going to keep going.
Yeah.
You can't lie to us anymore.
No, that's the cool thing. Like, for every person that thinks that vapes are bad now or whatever, like, CBD's bad for you, it has a bad rap now, there is a whole other half of these people that think it's good and great.
All algorithms, dude.
Yep.
If you are pro pot and all this stuff, it'll pop up. And everything that you see on your Facebook, on your YouTube, everything, it's going to support that argument. And if you're against it, everything that you see on your YouTube and Facebook is going to be against it.
Yeah.
And you really just have to, like, we live in a time where we are product.
Mm-hmm.
All of our screen time and what we look at is product. And they literally, like, Facebook's algorithms work on interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's pissed off, they're going to interact. So if you are anti-pot, you're going to see stupid articles that aren't, like, they're pro-pot, but it's not even anything intelligent.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know, like, what a fake headline would be. But it's just something that's clearly a dumbass article, like The Onion or something. And
yeah,
you ever read Onion articles?
Yeah, it's so funny.
They're hilarious.
So far-fetched.
But, like, if you don't know what it is, it's just pure satire.
Yeah.
But some people have no clue, and they're like, whoa, this stuff is, people are out of their mind. This stuff is real? What?
Yeah. And I love how they promote stuff on Facebook, and it makes it look like it's real. And then I always look for the link. You always have to look for the link if you're looking on Facebook. Older people don't know that, though, and they're like, "Whoa, this is real news."
You just see the headline.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then you see theonion.com.
Yeah.
there's also there's another fake
there's a good
publication
bunch of them, but
that I love the most. It's called Hard Times or something. And they always post, like,
I feel like I've seen that.
It's like all pop. It's like subculture type stuff. So, like, in the punk scene and, like, like weird stuff. And there was this one where, like, it was like punk kid got his vape stolen by parent. Parent gets hooked on, like, nicotine type stuff or like something like that. And it's all just jokes and it's all satire like The Onion is, but it's more like really stupid, far-fetched stuff. It's so funny, dude. But I honestly find a kick in, like, the fake news type stuff. I love looking at that. Like, for other people, though, you look at it and we can laugh because we know it. But for a lot of people, they think it's real.
Like all of, like, I don't want to generalize everybody, but I feel like a lot of us that are, say, 28 below, maybe even 30 below.
Yeah.
We just kind of, that's a general consensus sense of humor.
Yeah.
We get that kind of satire. Like, your parents get that a little more so than, like, my parents do. They don't get that kind of comedy that we do. But we grew up on that. I mean, I remember watching, like, Napoleon Dynamite when I was, like, 5, 6 years old. However, I think it came out in, like, 03, 04.
Yeah.
But it's just that dumb comedy. That's just, it's cheesy, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. And our parents didn't grow up with that.
Mm-mm.
And it's like, if you moved with it, fine. But some people, you get busy. You fall out of, like, where are the lines going? And that was the next stage in it all.
Yeah.
And now they just don't. I don't get this. This isn't funny to me, and I understand that, and you can't be mad at it.
It's all in values. There's a generational gap where, like, our generation values so much different stuff, and we value, I think, more personal stuff, more stuff that's not commercial anymore.
That's like things now that are coming out that, like, okay, like there's a lot of people listen to like Rogan. Yeah. There's a lot of people listen to podcasts in general, and you know what's a good podcast because you can listen to the people and tell that they're genuine and they're talking about what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's not some dude who's on the radio like, yep, this is this. We got this coming up. Go to this event, drink Coke.
Yeah. Yeah. And like going back, it's the values like our parents valued. They had so much to value in like old 80s movies. Look at that as an example. They're funny.
That's what I was just thinking about.
They're good.
I was watching Ferris Bueller yesterday, and it's hilarious because we can understand that comedy, but it's far-fetched from the type of stuff that like we love Step Brothers. Mm-hmm. Completely different direction of comedy.
Yeah. It's a satire. They're taking things that the old 80s comedies would take seriously and have like a tongue-in-cheek kind of vibe.
Yeah, their whole thing is it's all directional comedy.
Yeah.
It all follows the plot of the story and everything. And then what we watch now is just this can work with this.
Yep.
It doesn't have to progress the story every time you make a joke. Mm-hmm. It's just there.
Yeah. It's a little, it digs a little deeper. Even the stupid stuff you can watch, like Tim and Eric or something like that. Like, it's all satire. Mm-hmm. And you dig deep into that and you understand why they're doing it or like what the reasoning is. And it's like, wow, it's like really creepy the stuff we take seriously. And it's insane the stuff we actually take seriously and hold value to. And especially older generations will take value to stuff that's not satirical. And I don't know, just more
like
tongue in.
We can laugh at some dark stuff just because we know it's not funny. And that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
And the older generations don't understand that. And that's fine. Because we can understand why they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They lived with these issues.
Yeah.
And they're fading with us. Not all of them. We've still got issues, but I don't know. That was a rough tangent.
It was good. It was
like
a good tangent.
It went way off base, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we need to make everything available to us at 18 and leave the legal adulthood age at 18, or do we raise the age of everything to 21? Like, you can take on college debt only once you're 21. Like, you can only be tried as an adult only when you're 21.
I still think 18 is the legal age that that should be a deadline for anything. Mm-hmm. Alcohol, everything under an age restriction, leave it at 18 because I like the example. Why can't I go buy a pack of cigarettes? Because I can go join the military. Oh, what's up, man? So like I can go join the military, but I can't go buy a pack of cigarettes.
Right.
And that's so odd to me.
Doesn't make sense. So, you can go gamble your money, but you can't possess something?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I could go either way on it.
Me too.
If they want to raise the age to 21, fine. Just make everything 21 across the board.
Yeah.
But if you want to make it 18, fine. You better just go that way. You better change the tax rates to where you're going to be working as a minor full time until you're 21.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. What are you doing, Case?
Just taking some of these to program.
Are you leaving? Yeah. Okay.
You're good, bro.
This is Kyle. Casey. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Are you in the middle?
Yeah, we're pretty much
you're
done.
good. We just throw stuff in.
See you guys.
See you, brother.
But yeah, no, I appreciate that. I like talking about that. It's so weird. I didn't even realize that was happening. Was it yesterday that they passed it?
They don't. No one hears about this stuff until after it happens.
Yeah,
like they did it. They raised the age in Ohio like
a month
4
ago.
or 5 months ago.
It was 5 months ago.
It was a couple months ago. but no one heard about it until the day after it happened.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
It's what are we doing? What are we really doing? What kind of government do we really have?
I don't think it's trusting.
It's
in
not.
us.
It's not. And they set it up to not have faith in us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I get that. There's some people that you just can't have faith in them like that.
Yeah.
But to make the general consensus that we are not intelligent enough to govern ourselves when the whole concept of what we are is based on that,
mm-hmm.
What are we really doing here?
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
Okay, we'll leave that. On that note, it's going to be a little short.
This is a
podcast.
shorter today. We're going to do New Year's. You'll catch it.
Yeah. We'll have fun with the New Year's one. It's going to be more of a combination of what we've done the past year, what we're going to do next year, and we're going to talk to my dad. It's going to be down in my parents' basement, and we're going to show off his arcade cabinets, talk to a couple of our buddies, and have a good time. And it's going to be New Year's Day, so it's going to be the Hangover podcast. We're all going to be hungover, drink some coffee, eat some breakfast, and try to think about some stuff and chat with y'all. So
yeah, this is fun. This is something. This is stuff that really like hits home to me, and I really wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I mean, it might be brought up by people again. I hope it will because we can really go on it, and it's a genuine concern of mine.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hearts go out to all the people in Texas for
Yep.
real. I hope we hear more about that. I hope everything works out for everyone. Where your opinions lie, I don't know. I think there's a general consensus we can hit. It's just we refuse to allow the opinions of others to permeate us. I feel like we need to really sit down and just let our hearts be known to each other.
Yep.
So,
and whether or not you agree with anything, the bottom line is you need to understand. You need to understand that there is a separation, and whether it's politics, whether it's thoughts on gun control, whether it's this thing's bad, this thing's right, you need to understand that there is separation, and we need to all come together in times like these instead of base our opinions because their lives are hurt, not ours. How do we make it better? We come together. So,
yeah, we don't all come from the same place. There's a billion books, which means there's a billion different stories. Everybody's got their own.
yep.
You really just got to understand where people come from, and maybe we're all working towards one goal and don't realize it.
Yeah.
So, that being said, as always, OG Hot Salads 1, everything.
Drumpster, everything.
At WDWGFH.
Yep.
On Instagram, WDWGFH1, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on Facebook. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Happy New Year.
See you soon.